So every day of life should be one of enrichment. And with enrichment, you should be able to contribute to the world, function in a manner that will enrich the world also. So it is a two-way enrichment. In order to enable you, enlighten you, and empower you for this purpose, this inner spiritual splendor on the basis of Sreemad Bhagavatam is discussed. First of all, I would like you to know about it. Now, I am an exponent. I am going to expose this inner spiritual splendor. This exposition is made for the viewers. I don't know how many of you will be there. In a few days, I will get some kind of an estimation or evaluation about how many people are going to listen to me or are listening to me. I am doing a telecast in Asianet, the very premier Malayalam channel. It started on March 22nd this year. So quite a number of episodes are already over. Every week except Sunday, all the 6 days the telecast is right from the morning from 6:15 for half an hour. I think we are now reaching something like 210th or 215th episode. I am not seeing it myself because it's not convenient for me to see. Now the report that I am getting from the cable network operators is that 40 lakhs and more people are viewing the telecast. It is on the same subject. There I call it Mukti-skandham, because it's an Indian language and an Indian caption would be all right. Now this particular caption is taken up for people who are not able to understand the local language or who would like to have something different. Normally, most of the regional language expositions are not heard by the so-called educated people and the elite. I am very sorry about it. The intellectuals are almost shunning, looking with a sense of derision about whatever we have in the way of culture, cultural elegance, spiritual, philosophical and other insights. I think they don't appreciate it. But you should understand Srimad Bhagavatam is a text. And as a text, it has more than 1 lakh words and 18,000 Sanskrit verses. And this text is being loved and adored by millions and trillions of people in this world. So many people are looking for it. And they don't want to change a syllable of it. A hraswa, they don't want to be a dirgha. And a dirgha, they don't want to be a hraswa. A short vowel, they don't want to be extended by mistake. So much of flair and fascination and attunement they have for the scripture. My dear intellectuals, why is it that you don't have? You know, Swami Bhoomananda feels very sorry and sympathetic to all of you. I have been speaking for the past 55 years, exposing our own great legacy in front of a number of people, an assortment of audiences I speak to. Throughout my feeling is that, why is it that the intellectuals are missing this? It's a great loss to them. It is the intellectuals that administer the country in various sections of administration. They are the ones who are the scientists, they are the ones who are the professors, they are sitting in the administrative chairs also. In every walk of life, the country is ruled, guided, shaped and led by intellectuals. Unless these intellectuals also are exposed to something of a great, inestimable knowledge, treasure of the land, where is the salvation? Where is going to be the evolution for the country? As citizens of the world, as nationals of this country, can you afford to be indifferent to this legacy of the country? It's a question that I want to ask every one of you. If you have got my question, echo it, repeat it in front of as many people as you can. We have liberated India and we are more than 6 decades have passed. Now we are yet to be Indianized. We are yet to be nationalized. We are yet to be cultured. We are yet to be spiritual, philosophical, value-oriented people. As individuals, as family members, as members of the society, as nationals of the country and the globe. Everything proceeds from the individual. From the individual, it grows into the family, society, etc. That focus is missing. Is it that India is a geographical subcontinent? Or India means a population? India means a great heritage. We have got a national flag. It has got 3 colors, tricolor national flag. Every color has got its own depiction, and it depicts value of the country. In this value, no religion comes here, no religious sect or bias comes here. It is all value based upon human mind and human intelligence, nothing else. We have been able to think about human values not now, right in the prehistoric times. And we have recorded our thoughts. We have presented them in various forms. Srimad Bhagavata is one such. Now Srimad Bhagavata is considered to be a Purana. The Purana, normally, I will speak more about it later. The Purana is a kind of a lore which generally exponents deal with in front of any kind of an audience. Tattva Kathana and Tattva Shravana, these are two typical words. Tattva Kathana, what does it mean? Truthful exposition. Truthful exposition. An exposition which should be full of truth, which will be exposing truths, values, ideals and messages. That kind of an exposition is called Tattva Kathana. Whenever such a Kathana means exposition, where a speaker speaks vocally, speaking is always vocal, and whenever such a Kathana is there, automatically Shravana also is there, it is also being heard. Now I am speaking, as I speak you are hearing also. So the Kathana and Shravana go together. Kathana means speaking, narration, and Shravana means hearing, listening. The two always go together. Now this has become a culture and a tradition and a legacy of our land. What is the purpose of this narration? The purpose of the narration is to reach the intelligence of the listeners. Whenever somebody exposes something using words, phrases, similes, metaphors, etc., they have to be heard by a set of people. Every word represents, denotes and conveys idea. So as he speaks, the listeners also are tuned to him. So the intelligence is aroused, is awakened. And through a process of arousing and awakening, enlightening the intelligence, we are trying to bring about enrichment, empowerment in the listeners. Now my exposition will be possible, will be effective only when you are able to, with fidelity, listen to what I say. You know, any kind of an exposition will become so only when there are people to receive it. So the recipients are very important. And the manner in which they listen to the exposition is also important. I am doing it with the whole of my heart and with a purpose, with an objective. I don't think any one of you can doubt why this Swamiji is speaking to us. I am speaking to you because you have to be spoken to. Otherwise you don't think about it. Such a beautiful subject, such an endearing subject, such an elevating subject, such an enlightening and empowering exposition. Why is it you are not otherwise listening to or hunting? So it is necessary. Perhaps many people do not know what they want. Maybe only thinkers and knowers know what the common man wants. To think about the society is not given to many people. All the people are mostly selfish. Maximum they are family oriented, self-oriented, family oriented. Nobody has a societal feeling, concern or flair in their mind. So social people are very few. Even today, what is the lack? Even the political parties go on saying that we don't have a proper leader. The most leading political party in India, their people are telling me, Swamiji, we don't have a leader. So leaders are very few. Only when a leader is there, people can flock to them or flock to him, lead us to where you want. So exposition is very important. As I expose, all of you must be listening to it with a lot of fidelity and commitment and dedication. Then only it is possible. In other words, what is it that I want? There must be an attunement and affinity on the part of all of you. I am going to speak about Srimad Bhagavatam. Even now, as an introduction, I am dealing with the same subject. All of you should listen to the talk with a, what shall I say, preferably having your bath and having a good mood and listen to it. As you will go to the temple or any other religious institution, you should consider that this is a spiritual and a philosophical exposition. It has to be approached, received and imbibed exactly in the same manner. So the Tattva Kathana becomes very, very important. About Tattva Kathana, I would like to quote one or two lines from the famous beautiful book called Yoga Vasishta Ramayana. Yoga Vasishta Ramayana is a subject which perhaps this Swamiji exposes with a rarity and with a distinction. Not many people are given to expose Yoga Vasishta Ramayana. It is a Ramayana penned by sage Valmiki. It contains 32,000 Sanskrit verses. On the other hand, the biographical note which the same Valmiki Maharshi has written consists of only 24,000 Sanskrit verses. It is an 18-day dialogue which took place in the beautiful Ayodhya palace, the ancient palace, where sage Vasishta, Vishwamitra and the others were seated on one side and Rama right opposite them in front of them. Along with Rama, Dasharatha his father, the three mothers Kausalya and the rest, the ministers, the citizenly chiefs and the others were also present. Right from sunrise to sunset the discussion went on, and that too for 18 days. If this series goes on progressing, I will have occasion to speak more about it to all of you, Yoga Vasishta Ramayana. It's a highly beautiful text where the most subtle truths, facts and features of the human inner personality, the inner constitution of man, the human, is discussed in a threadbare manner. Vicharodhyatma vidyanam jnanamanga vidurbudha Nyayam tasyantarevasti madhuryam payaso yatha. See how sage Vasishta explains to the young Sri Rama, 16 years old he was at the time, how this exposition is very unique, sublime and wholesome in its effect. He says, Vicharaha adhyatma vidyanam jnanamanga vidurbudha. The literal meaning of the verse will be, knowledgeable people say that truthful introspection is so beautiful and so great that itself is the pursuit of this wonderful spiritual wisdom and refinement. Nyayam tasya antarevasti. Whatever you want to know, you are seeking. That is inside the very process of introspection. So when you engage your intelligence and the mind in a truthful introspection, and that is what we are doing. As I am speaking, you are hearing. And as you are hearing, the same process, while for me it is a delivery, for you it is an assimilation or absorption. I am speaking out. It is actually an external outward projection. So far as you are concerned, it is an inward assimilation. Now as I speak, every word, apart from the meaning it denotes or conveys, it also carries something from my personality. So a pravakta means a speaker, an exponent. His speech, if it is wholesome, it is backed necessarily with all the sublimity that austerity and intention bring about. You will find up to the eardrum it is sound vibrations, but beyond the eardrum, do you think it trickles, it goes in the form of a sound? Certainly not. The sound ceases with the eardrum. Thereafter it is extremely indefinable, very, very subtle, conscious vibration, some vibrational process. And where does it get into? It gets into your mind structure, intelligence structure, to get absorbed there, to remain part and parcel of your mento-intellectual personality. I don't know whether I am clear. Are you hearing me? Are you following what I am saying? Are you in tune with me, coming along with me? Or I go on talking, that's all. I would like to ensure that every one of you is hearing it. So here he says, Vicharodhyatma vidyanam jnanamanga vidurbudha nyayam tasyantarevasti. The subject or the object to be known is contained in the very exposition, in the words which the exponent is using. And he says, how is it contained? Madhuryam payaso yatha. Just like sweetness is ingrained in the very milk, in the same manner, in the words and the phraseology, with the fervor, the spirit and the dedication with which the exponent delivers his words, in all those words you will find the subject to be known, the subject to be realized, the inner spiritual splendor, so far as we are concerned, is very much present there. Vicharaya dhiya satyam asatyam hi parityaja abadho baddha ityuktva kim mudha parishochasi. See, an exposition, when properly heard and assimilated, it brings instantaneous result, outcome and fruition. Vicharaya dhiya satyam, dhiya with the intelligence. Vicharaya, reflect upon, ruminate over, introspect upon, satyam, what is the truth? The truth is a concept, it is an idea, it is a perception, it is a cognition and an experience. It is this experience that I convey, or sage Vasishta convey to Sri Rama through words. So, listening to all these words, you will get an ample idea, an understanding of the truth. So, go on introspecting over the truth with your intelligence. Asatyam hi parityaja. And as you introspect over the truth, you should be able to get away from reject and dissuade the untruth also. So on the one hand, he says, introspect over the truth I am conveying, and then get away from the untruth which is occupying you now, till now. Abadho baddha ityuktva. My dear Rama, my dear son, you are in reality consciousness, the luminous presence within your body. Mark my words, luminous presence. There is some presence, some power in your body which animates and activates the body. The eyes by themselves cannot see. Suppose you are sleeping, then sleep. I come there, gently open your eyelids and I show a flower for about a few seconds. Then take away the flower, allow the eyelids to close and I go away. Next morning I ask you, have you seen the flower I showed? What will be your answer? Swamiji, I did not see at all. Why? Your eyes were present, I opened the eyelids, but you could not see. Why? What is the reason? Because the mind did not employ the sensory organ. That is the reason. And what is this mind? It is a presence. How will you describe that presence? I will tell you. In the whole universe, there are only three constituents, if you can call them so. One is matter, another is energy. Whether it is earth, whether it is the oceans and the waters, or the air, the different forms of energy like fire, light, etc., heat, or the entirety of space, the ground for all these things, all of them are divided into two categories. One is matter, materiality, another is energy, energiality. That's all, nothing else. Now there is a third factor. What is that? The power and presence within your body, to which alone belongs cognition, comprehension, sensing, recognition, understanding, feeling, experiencing, realizing, etc. Now that factor is called consciousness in English. It is not the medical consciousness that I am referring to. It is consciousness, a presence, by virtue of which you become conscious of everything and also yourself. Now these are the only three factors. Now the Panchabhutas, as we call it, the solid earth, the fluid waters, the gaseous air, the different forms of energy represented by fire, and ultimately the ground of all space, all of them are inert and insentient. Our body is made up of these Panchabhutas, 5 elements so to say, not chemistry elements. Now the consciousness is present in such a body. That means it is subtle enough, permeating enough to penetrate even the space, the subtlest of visible existence. Now that being the nature of the consciousness, extremely subtle, how do you understand it? It can have no bondage at all. Are you following me? Are you hearing me? Why don't you think? Employ your intelligence. See, I can dig into the earth, there will be a hole. Can I dig into water? The moment I take away the instrument, the water will find its own level. Can I pierce the air? Maybe an arrow or a rocket can go piercing the air. As it goes, the air will close up. What about the space? I can never bring about any effect on space at all. Even when there is an nuclear explosion, you will find the other elements are involved. Say earth is involved, water is involved, air also will be polluted and destroyed. But space will not be destroyed. If space itself is indestructible and subtle and unaffectable, it cannot be acted upon by anything. What about the consciousness which is much more permeating and sentient? It can never be affected. It is such a thing that you call, I am bound, Swamiji, I am affected, I am afflicted, I am tormented. Oh, so many prenatal influences are there to bind me. You say that. It is a misunderstanding. It's a product of delusion. Unthought of matter. Why don't you take up fresh introspection into the whole subject? I am not asking you to think of a distant God, nor even an invisible God. I am asking you to think of your own personality, the inner counterpart of your personality. The external counterpart is the body, the biological matter energy aggregate. There is something non-material, non-energial, supra-material and supra-energial. I am speaking about that. Can you be indifferent to what I say? Can you postpone grasping this exposition? Certainly not, provided you are a rational, intelligent, inquiring human. So how beautifully he puts it. Abadho baddha ityuktva kim mudha parishojasi. Rama, unnecessarily you are saying, I am bound. You cannot be bound at all. As the space is unaffected by all the other four elements, the consciousness is unaffected by everything that is known and unknown, thinkable and unthinkable. That being so, why is it that you are unnecessarily grieving, lamenting? Leave it. Samyagaloganat satyad vasana praviliyate vasana vilaye chetaha shamyatya sneha deepavad. See how to approach the subject. Right from the birth, we are always interacting with the perishable, visible world. All our knowledge is gained from the objects. Have you ever cared to teach yourself or your children something about the mind, something about the intelligence, something about what is beneath these? We have never taken up that subject of understanding. At least now you start. Samyag aloganat satyad. When the truth is repeatedly reflected upon, introspected over, ruminated over, vasana praviliyade, even the desire and fascination for the world, undue desire and undue fascination, the tendency to dominate over, win over, being jealous of others, intolerant, all these undesirable traits of the mind, they simply drop, he says. Drop by what? By a psycho-intellectual pursuit. What is that pursuit? Introspection. You should introspect over the supreme truth, the truth about your own personality, the truth about the world. That may be hard for you to understand. But you introspect over what am I in the form of my inner personality. Body I understand to be biological, body I understand to be matter, energy, aggregate. What about the mind within, intelligence within? They are supra-material. Should I not probe into them, understand them, think about them? And our Shastras will enable you to know it. Samyag aloganat satyad. When the truth is adequately, properly, in ample measure, ruminated over, vasana praviliyade, the mind will start dropping all the undesirable influences and traits it is embodying now, one after the other. Vasana vilaye chetaha shamyatya sneha deepavad. When all the aberrations of the mind, contaminations of the mind, unnecessary deflections of the mind, when all of them subside, you will find shamyati asneha deepavad. There is a lamp burning behind me here. When a lamp is burning, when the oil is drained off, burnt off, automatically the flame will be extinguished. In the same manner you will find, when the mind drops all its impurities, all its contaminations, you will simply become quiet, ecstatic and exuberant. This is what he says. Whenever I say inner spiritual splendor, understand that it is within reach. It is as reachable as your mind. It is as reachable as your thought and emotion. It is not something distant at all. It is not something inexperiential. It is invisible to the senses, I agree, but it is not inexperiential to your mind and heart. Samyagalokanat satyad vasana praviliyate vasana vilaye chedaha shamyatya sneha deepavad. So this inner spiritual splendor series of telecasts, understand that it is a beautiful conjunction between the speaker whose voice you are listening and the listeners and the viewers. It's a beautiful conjunctional pursuit. Our Shastras clearly say an exposition should be made by a proper person. Who is a proper person? Who has experienced what he says, who is an authority in himself, who has the sole aim of enlightening the others with a fondness, with a fascination and with a flair. He identifies himself so much to the pursuit of propagation or dissemination that he is very wholesome in the whole aspect. Such a person, a seer, is called the Sadguru. That Sadguru, our Shastras say, Acharya Mukhad eva avagantavyam. The supreme truths of life have to be heard from an Acharya. Acharya is one who first of all inquires into the subject, knows it by his own pursuit, contemplation and whatnot, and ultimately he starts practicing it, manifesting it, displaying it, and then he acquires the natural competence, qualification to expose it for the benefit of others.